What's going on, guys? It's Travel Drive Cruise back here again with another review of the SB80 bill. It is currently getting revised. The day I actually posted my original SB80 video, I seen there was a revision. I've been sitting and waiting to see if there's any changes, and there has been no changes. So I'm gonna go over the current state of SB80. This is a big one. SB80 just got another update, and I've got the real breakdown for you. And spoiler alert, they made one part less vague and one part more vague. That combo's dangerous, not just for the enthusiasts, but for these legit repair and tuning shops. Now let's break this down. The version we're looking at is Assembly number 710 to Senate Bill 80, first reprint. Sounds official, right? Well, here's what really changed. They straight up deleted sections 2, 3, 4, 5, and 8 from the bill. All the stuff about regulating heavy truck shops, general enforcement language, and extra structure for motor vehicle definitions, gone. At first, that sounds like a win, like they trimmed the fat. But in reality, they just took out the parts that gave structure, and what's left behind? It's kind of shady. Let's talk about Section 7, NRS 445B.840. where they talk about emissions tampering. This is where they get real specific. Now, word for word, that it's illegal to tamper with or remove an emissions device, possess a device capable of tampering with emissions, that includes engine swaps, unless the new engine has working emissions hardware already. Yes, that includes ECU tuners, emulator boxes, spoofers, anything that is capable of deleting an emission system. So your Bluetooth OBD scanner that tells you your little car codes and has the capability to emulate your car is now going to get you a misdemeanor. Intent no longer matters. If you just own the device and it's capable of disabling emissions, you're now committing a misdemeanor. That is crazy. That's a major shift. Before, the law focused on actual fraudulent certificates or deliberate cheating. Now they just own the tool. Even if you're using it for diagnostics off-road builds, you can get fined, or worse. They made it crystal clear. Now here's the problem. While they got super specific in Section 7, they got more vague everywhere else. Before this amendment, there were at least sections explaining what type of shops had to comply, who is exempt, what vehicles were going to be enforced, and what enforcement powers the DMV was really going to get. But now all of it is deleted. There's no definition for what tools are banned. There's no exemption for repair shops, race shops, or even emissions certified performance workshop. They deleted the parts that explained who this applies to and what scenarios are protected, and just kept the punishment. That's all it is. It's a punishment book, section, whatever it is. This hurts shops the most. It's not even about the car community anymore. It's about the shops. So what does this mean for actual tuning and performance shops? Let's say you run a dyno shop, you flash ECUs, you do legal engine swaps, maybe you install carb certified cats, getting ready for the old SB80. Guess what? If you have a tuning tool that can tamper in any way, you're now potentially breaking the law. No due process, no distinction between street or track. That's vague and dangerous. The people that take their cars to Vegas drift, it's now illegal. Even if you take your track from one track to another track to cross the street, illegal. You can't do it. You can't even trailer it. You can't own it. This creates fear and obviously legal risk for these shops. Can they own this scanner or flash without risk? Can I legally tune for off-road use? Is my engine swap allowed if the engine parts appear operational but aren't DMV certified? There's no answers. Lawmakers need to fix this. They made it less vague about what you can't do, but they made it more vague about who can do what legally. This needs fixed. If you're going to criminalize possession of a tool, you better define what counts as a tampering tool, who's allowed to own it, and what legal tuning is considered. Right now, SB80's half finished with enforcement teeth, but no regulatory backbone. And that's the kind of thing that gets weaponized, not for clean air, but for revenue control. It's obvious. They're going to target the shops because the shops give them money. They get these money for these certificates. Maybe they're going to make a new emission certificate that you got to pay double for. I mean, who knows what they're trying to do, because this isn't about people touching their own cars. This is now about the shops. Now, what can we do? Well, we've already done. We can contact our local lawmakers, tell them SB80 needs revision, clear definitions, shop exemptions, and a real understanding of how modern cars can get modified legally. This is something we want to do. We want to modify our cars. They want to allow us to modify them with a million legal barriers. We need this cut and clear. Most people modifying their cars, especially the way they're trying to get rid of the cat deletes, the muffler cuts, the straight pipes, those are younger people doing that. Are we trying to set up our youth to go to jail because they took a saw to the car they owned? Or because they have an emulator tool in a car that already had it? I'll keep you guys updated. Until then, share this video, stay smart, stay clean, and don't get caught.